Hey everyone, in this video we will be covering a few best practices of microapp creation in general, but specifically for PowerPoint and PDF. And tip number one is going to be naming your pages. Small but mighty. This is something that one, it will help you when you get into the page linking phase using hotspots to know, hey, instead of page 5, it's going to be the first product page. It'll also help you inform the analytics when the asset is completed and it's shared out with outwardly, then you're able to see, hey, which recipient was on this page for how much amount of time. So definitely recommend naming your pages. Tip number two when it comes to organizing your micro app here is going to be page states. So when you have pages like this that are in the same section, the solution, for example, we just have two different variations that you can toggle between and show off different information. For two, this isn't too problematic, but let's say you had 10, it's going to start muddying up your timeline of pages over here. And so what you can do is you can turn a page roll over on the right hand side from normal to state. And then you'll see that as we go back to the solutions page, that secondary page has now been added underneath the page as opposed to the page timeline. In addition to states, another page role that we have is an overlay. And you'll see if on the right-hand side, we switch from normal to overlay, that it goes from the last page of the timeline into its own tray for overlay. Uh, this contact page is meant to be more of a pop-up. So as opposed to directing to a completely separate page, this can feel like it's its own pop-up as intended. And so I've already generated tiles for this page, which is going to allow me to select the white fill background. And then I can actually add some opacity back to it. So if I want to make this have a semi dark background, let's say put that at 50%. What we're going to do is, let's say someone was to click on this logo button, take me to the contact overlay. You'll see that this now sits right over the top. We'll also cover using the embed tile really quick because this is meant to have a contact form. What's nice about this is for any surveys, forms, things of that nature, all that you need to do is copy and paste them right in. And then this feels as if it is built into the experience itself. So that is going to be converting a page to an overlay and then adding an embed tile as well. This tip can save you quite a bit of time. On the majority of the pages that we have in this micro app, they all have the same 7-button navigation down at the bottom. That does not mean that you have to drag the hotspot on each 7 blocks or buttons individually. That will take you quite a bit of time, and going and doing that on every page will also take you more time. So what you can do is create a multi-hotspot. And the way that you do that is to drag it over the anchors over the whole menu or navigation. This works especially well like this, where they're all spaced equal distance apart. And then when you click add a target, you'll see that we are now going to assemble multiple links within this hotspot. As I start to configure the links to link correctly to the right areas, you'll see that it is stacking them vertically, which in this example isn't really what we want. So you can switch the orientation from vertical to horizontal, and then you can continue to assign your hotspots here. And then once you're finished, what you can do is, now that that block of hotspots is nicely set up, you can copy that entire block and paste it across all the pages that it exists. So definitely recommend multi-hotspots if and when you can. Lastly, you're able to customize the cover image or thumbnail that shows up almost like a splash loading screen whenever a viewer is accessing your micro app. And in the settings, the gear icon up top, if you click there, you will see that by default, the cover image is set to the first page of your micro app. You can delete that, and then we'll go ahead and drag a new cover image into our assets panel, and we'll show you where that is in your PowerPoint so that you can tweak it, make it your own, and then bring it back into tiled. In our PowerPoint template, to the right of the cover page canvas, the thumbnail might be hiding a little bit, but let's say we want to adjust this and bring it back into tiled. first thing I'm going to do here is just make a copy of my logo file that I'm going to bring in. This whole asset will be grouped together, which makes it easy when you want to export it. But from here, I'm going to go ahead and double click in so that I can adjust the logo here. And then now that this asset is sitting on top, we are going to hold shift and select the group, right click and group that all together. And then let's say I want to make a couple other quick changes. We can do all of that here. Once it's ready to go, right click and save as picture. Now back in Tiled, we can go ahead and drag our cover image into the assets panel. And as that becomes available, now we can just drag it from the assets panel right into this cover image section. You will need to go ahead and publish it for that change to take effect. And then, yep, that will be your new cover image for the microapp, both in the library as well as when it is shared externally for any viewers.